I'm Jacqueline from the Edith Lando Virtual Learning Center. In today's video, I'll be showing you how to duplicate a registration form, how to set an expiration date for registration forms, as well as how to close a form and update the corresponding workshop posts. Forms are typically used in posts, and I'll show you later how you can add a form to a post. So whenever you would need a new post, you can typically duplicate an existing Gravity form and change the settings inside. In this screenshot, you can see that under the form title, there is a duplicate option. Please note that you would only need to modify the following parts in the form: the form settings, confirmations, as well as notifications. The other components remain unchanged. And then here are the form entries. So these are some of the people who have registered. When you test a form by registering into it yourself, this is also where you would delete your own test form entry. I will now show you a completed and live registration form on the website. On the workshops page, you will find collapsible accordions by month. There's two ways to access the registration form. First, you can click on the button shown here, or you can click inside of the workshop post and then go into the button from there. So here is a sample of an active registration form and the fields that are included. Now you may be wondering, how is the form created? So here, when you click to edit the post, you can see that this is the code that makes up the posts. You will find an ID specifying which Gravity form is used. When you go into the forms section of the website and you search by ID, you will see the corresponding entry included here. You will see that the form status is active so that it displayed on the website. When you click into the form here, you will find that the various fields can be changed. In addition, once you go to settings and then under form settings, you can change the title of the form and then also schedule the form. We typically schedule the form to have an end date of the registration deadline, as seen here as in the register by section. We have a message in the form expired section, so that's what people will see after that. In the confirmations, this is the screen that people see after they finish filling out the form. Usually, this message remains the same except for the title of the event. And here is the email notification that registrants receive after they registered. The Zoom info is different for each workshop, so that specifically is a part that cannot be replicated. I know that there are a lot of settings shown. Please note that you don't have to memorize everything. Usually, you can duplicate an existing registration form and then go from there, only changing what needs to be changed. For example, the title of the workshop and the form expiration date. In the notification section of Gravity forms, you can include the Zoom meeting information if available. As well, as shown earlier, you could change the contents of the form, for example, adding new questions, selections, etc. I was mentioning earlier that when you make a form and you want it to be posted for the public, you should have the status as active. But what if you just want to have the form archived? Well, in that case, you can set the form to inactive. In Gravity forms, all that requires is clicking on the status. When you click on active, it changes to inactive and vice versa. I'll now be showing you a few quick demos, followed by more detailed explanations. Once a form is set to inactive, you'll notice that it appears blank on the corresponding web post. To address this problem, once you make a form inactive, you'll learn how to add text to the post where the form is displayed. highlighted line on this slide represents how to get a form onto a post. You would first require the corresponding Gravity form ID as shown earlier. The title is always false and the description is always true. Those can remain unchanged. The thank you for your interest line is only added now that the form is inactive. So when you make a new form that registrants can fill out, you would not require the thank you for your interest line. The form would be active. And when it's active, the only thing required is the Gravity form text here, which is highlighted. And when you set an expiration date for the form, along with the expiration message, you do not necessarily need to set the form to inactive after registration finishes. You can just leave it as is, and also in that case, when it's still active and there is an expiration message, there is no need to include the thank you for your interest line that is shown here. I also wanted to point out that when you create a post for a Gravity form, the title of the post highlighted here would not include the word registration. That is because when the form is added, the form will already have the word registration, so including it in the title would have it twice on the form. As shown here, even though the word registration is not included in the post, I still like to include it in its permalink so that it is distinguished from the workshop post itself. Before you can modify a custom field, you must ensure to check off the necessary selections in Screen Options as shown here. We will indicate that registration is closed on the web post, which requires a change to the custom field. Here, essentially, you would go into the post to edit it, and in the registration custom field, you would change the button text to say registration closed. I only touched upon the use of custom fields briefly in this video, but there will be more videos outlining their use cases. Stay tuned. And that's all for today. Thank you for watching.